Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle, where I talk about electronic music, both new and old, and today I'm talking about the pretty new EP from DJ Shadow, The Mountain Has Fallen. Hey guys, happy 808 Day! It's August 8th, and instead of talking about anything that might have to do with the iconic drum machine, I'm instead talking about an EP that I'm like a month late to talking about. And I'm also fairly certain it doesn't actually have any 808s in it at any point. Maybe the main album does. But whatever, okay, yeah, this is not relevant to 808 Day at all. I just felt like saying that. Anyway, DJ Shadow, Josh Davis, basically the first person I think of whenever someone brings up the idea of a DJ. Now, last year I reviewed his latest album, The Mountain Will Fall. I highly suggest you check out that review if you want a better introduction of this guy. Now, back when I reviewed that album, I was admittedly kind of on the fence over it, given that it was a trap album, and I've never really liked that genre in general. In fact, I often went out of my way to avoid the genre altogether because, yes, I did hate the Harlem Shake that much. And Shadow gave me what I believed might just be the first primarily trap album that I could unironically enjoy to any extent. Now, to be fair, that album wasn't all trap. There was a fair bit of variety on that thing that extended to more straightforward hip-hop and trip-hop and other stuff. It was kind of a weird album, but as the year went on, I found it to grow on me more and more with every successive listen, to the point of making it halfway up my year-end list. In fact, I officially upgraded the album to a solid 8 in the description of that review, just because a lot of the tracks I previously didn't care for, like Three Ralphs and especially Mambo, were suddenly a lot of fun to listen to. Granted, the iTunes bonus track, Swerve, still sucks, but it's just a bonus track, I removed it. But speaking of bonus tracks, now that brings us to this new companion EP, The Mountain Has Fallen, which I think, after a few listens, could easily take the place of Swerve and be just tacked onto the main album. There's 4 tracks here, and they're all pretty dang good tracks. First we got Systematic with Nas, which is kinda like Nobody Speak. Not quite as catchy, but, you know, Nas is a charismatic MC, and it's cool to hear his voice and hear him talk about, well, the system. Not a lot to talk about there. It's basically what you would expect out of a collaboration like this, but it's definitely a fun track. Second track is Horror Show with Danny Brown, and of course it sounds like what you would expect out of this collaboration as well. Actually, this track kind of resembles Ain't It Funny from Danny's recent Atrocity Exhibition album, what with its piercing horn section and Danny rapping about drugs in his crazy voice as per usual. Now, if you don't like Danny Brown or his voice, you're probably not going to like this track, but I think he's one of the most unique rappers out there. I really liked his Atrocity Exhibition album, like a lot of people did, and sure, granted, I was introduced to him through the Avalanches, and that's a great introduction to get for basically anyone, but him in particular, like, jeez. Anyway, you got the track Good News, which is another straight instrumental, like the other tracks on the main album that didn't have featuring credits. But there is something a little different about this one that separates it from the other instrumentals on this album. While still pretty abstract and all over the place, it's surprisingly catchy thanks to its synth bass line, and the beats themselves are a bit more hip-hop oriented rather than trap oriented. In fact, it mostly sounds like Amen Breaks, though I don't think I've heard Amen Breaks chopped up in this fashion before. So yeah, really cool track there. But I think my favorite track on this EP is the final track, Corridors with Stephen Price. So I didn't recognize that name initially, but Stephen Price is a film composer. He did the score to the film Gravity, as well as working with the Basement Jacks on their Attack the Block score. Oh, and he actually did the score parts of the Suicide Squad soundtrack, apparently. No comment there. Point is that his collaboration with Shadow turned out excellently. Of course, it combines Shadow's current kind of abstract style with some more sort of film soundtrack vibes and orchestration, which probably not like a real full orchestra. It's still effective and provides the track with its very cool atmosphere, Lots of nice string sounds combined with Shadow's DJ scratching. It's a super unique track that I had a similar reaction to as that of Ashes to Oceans from the main album. Sure, the track is kinda weird, but it's really creative and sounds great, and here it's especially nice given how this closes out the whole thing and, ends us on a high note. I mean, sure, the track kind of ends with fake glitching out that at first had me worried that my computer was having hard drive problems, but it is still a fantastic track if you ask me. So yeah, overall this was a solid EP. I would definitely stick this onto the main album as a replacement to that iTunes bonus track. And in case you were wondering, does that make the album too long? The answer is no, because if you add that all up time-wise, The Outsider is still longer, so yeah, I think Corridors also might make actually a stronger ending to the album than Suicide Pact did. Not that that was a bad track either, but, this one feels like more of an ending to me. Now, I don't know if The Mountain Will Fallen is as great a standalone EP as it is a companion to the album, but, if you liked Shadow's last album, you will like this too. I recommend checking it out regardless, and I'm overall feeling a 7.5 out of 10. But of course, this is just my opinion. You can feel free to disagree with it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave the comments in the comment thing down there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today. See you next time.